What if everything you believe about life, success, and happiness was a carefully constructed illusion? Not just slightly off, but completely upside down. Everything, your goals, your dreams, your daily pursuits, built on false promises? Society didn't lie to you once, it lies to you every single day. And the worst part? You've probably accepted those lies as truth, without even realizing it. But once you see through the illusion, there's no going back. Because real freedom begins when you wake up. And what you're about to hear isn't comforting, but it just might set you free. Before you die, you need to hear this. This isn't some sugar-coated, feel-good, self-help fluff. No empty affirmations. No gentle encouragement. This is raw, unfiltered, brutally honest Stoic wisdom. The kind that doesn't care about your feelings but will change your life if you let it. Because here's the cold truth. Almost everything you think you know about life is a lie. You've been spoon-fed a fantasy by the world around you, by media, by marketing, even by the people closest to you. And without asking questions, you swallowed it whole. You were told that happiness is the ultimate goal. That success is measured by how much money you make or how many followers you have. That love, romantic, fairy tale love, will complete you. But none of that is real. Those are illusions, expertly crafted to keep you distracted, while the truth quietly slips through your fingers. Just look around. People are more anxious, more depressed, more disconnected than ever before. We're surrounded by abundance, but starving for purpose. We can connect with anyone in the world at the touch of a button, and yet, we feel lonelier than ever. Ask yourself, is this really what life is supposed to be? A race to accumulate meaningless things? A constant chase for applause and attention? A never-ending pursuit of fleeting pleasures and hollow achievements? You already know the answer. Deep down, you feel it. That's why it's time to wake up, to strip away the delusions and face the painful, liberating beauty of reality. And let me warn you, these truths aren't for the faint of heart. They won't soothe you. They won't pat you on the back. They will confront you, challenge you, and force you to reconsider everything you've been taught. You might resist. You might hate me for saying this. But if you're serious about living a life of meaning, a life that actually matters, then you need to hear what comes next. So brace yourself. It's going to get uncomfortable. But discomfort is always the first sign that growth is happening. Ready? Let's begin. Lesson number 1. Your comfort zone is your coffin. Let's be blunt. The comfort zone isn't a place of rest, it's where dreams are buried alive. If you truly want a life that matters, a life that means something, you must be willing to get uncomfortable. Because right after we accept that the comfort zone is our coffin, the next step is this: you have to break free from it. Not someday, not when it's convenient, now. Growth isn't something you wait for. It's something you earn through effort, through challenge, through moments that stretch you so far you begin to wonder who you really are. That's where transformation begins. So how do you start? Start small, but start deliberately. Take a cold shower. Even when every part of you wants warmth, speak up in a meeting. Even when your voice shakes, walk up to the person you've been admiring from a distance and say hello. Learn a new skill that terrifies you. Book a solo trip. Take the long way. Let yourself fail at something on purpose just to learn how to get back up. Do something every single day that makes your heart race a little. That pushes you just an inch past what you thought you could handle. Because here's the truth. Growth begins where your comfort zone ends. Every time you take that step beyond what feels safe, you inch closer to who you really are, not the version shaped by fear or routine, but the version fueled by courage and clarity. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I was stuck in a dead-end job. On paper, it was great. The pay was decent. The hours were predictable. It was safe. But inside, I was dying a slow, invisible death. My creativity was drying up. My ambition was fading. I dreaded waking up each morning, not because I hated work, but because I hated who I was becoming. And still, I stayed. Because it was comfortable. Until one day, something snapped. I walked away. No backup plan, no security net, just a gut feeling that I was wasting my one and only life. It was terrifying. But that decision, filled with fear and uncertainty, was the spark that led me to everything I have now. I stumbled. I failed. I doubted myself more times than I can count. But each failure built resilience. Each challenge shaped character. And for the first time in years, I felt alive again. Stepping out of that comfort zone gave me something I'd forgotten I even needed. A life that actually felt like mine. So here's what I want you to remember. Your comfort zone is not keeping you safe. It's keeping you small. It's robbing you of the very discomfort that leads to wisdom, growth, and transformation. Some of the most profound breakthroughs you'll ever experience will come in moments of pain, uncertainty, and challenge. That's where strength is forged. That's where your truest self is revealed. So don't let the fear of discomfort trap you in a life that feels numb. Step out, step up, start living. Lesson number 2. Expectation is the root of misery. After breaking free from your comfort zone, there's something else you need to break away from, your expectations. We all carry them. We expect friends to always show up. We expect our careers to follow a certain path. We expect our relationships to fulfill us, and life to unfold according to our carefully crafted plans. But here's the truth. Expectation is the birthplace of disappointment. Think back to the last time you felt truly hurt. Wasn't it because reality didn't match what you thought should happen? You expected someone to act a certain way. You expected life to reward your effort. You expected things to go smoothly, and they didn't. That gap, the space between how you thought things would go and how they actually did, is where misery lives. And the more rigid your expectations, the deeper that gap becomes. For years, I held tight to my own blueprint for success. I had big goals, and I believed that if I worked hard enough, followed all the rules, things would unfold just the way I imagined. Promotions, recognition, momentum. But instead, life gave me a different script. Opportunities fell through, promises weren't kept, and the ladder I thought I was climbing led nowhere. At first, I felt betrayed, bitter, frustrated with everything, myself included. But over time, I realized that it wasn't life that let me down. It was my expectations that had me chained to an illusion. When I finally released the need for things to go my way, I found something surprising: peace. Because when you stop expecting life to be fair, you start appreciating it for what it really is: raw, imperfect, and unpredictable. And that unpredictability, it can be beautiful if you stop resisting it. So what does it look like to let go of expectations? It means learning to appreciate effort without demanding results. It means allowing others to be who they are, not who you want them to be. It means meeting life where it is, not where you think it should be. That's not passivity, it's maturity. And when you do this, something amazing happens. You stop fighting against reality and start flowing with it. You stop clinging to control and start finding freedom. So lower your expectations, not out of defeat, but out of wisdom. Not because you're giving up, but because you're letting go of the illusion that life owes you anything. It doesn't. But the moment you stop demanding life be perfect, is the moment you begin to see just how meaningful it really is. So instead of clinging to how things should have been, we learn to appreciate what was, and that prepares us for the next truth most people don't want to admit. Lesson number 3. Friends are not forever. Accept that friendships, like all things in life, are impermanent. This one might sting a little. We've all grown up with the idea that true friends are forever, that real friendship should withstand time, distance, and all of life's changes. But the truth? Friendships don't always last, and that's okay. People change, circumstances shift, priorities evolve, and sometimes, that means growing apart from people you once couldn't imagine your life without. Think about it. How many of your childhood friends are still part of your daily life? What about your high school crew? Your college roommates? For most of us, those once inseparable bonds have slowly faded into memory. It doesn't mean those friendships weren't real. It doesn't mean they didn't matter. It simply means they belonged to a season of your life, and that season has passed. I remember my best friend from college. We were joined at the hip, studying late into the night, sharing dreams, heartbreaks, and every small victory. We talked about the future like we'd always be walking it together. But life had other plans. He moved to a new city, got married, took a different path. Slowly, texts became less frequent, calls turned into polite check-ins. And one day, I realized we weren't really in each other's lives anymore. At first, it felt like a loss, like something sacred had quietly disappeared. But in time, I came to understand something deeper. That friendship served its purpose. It helped shape who I was during that chapter of my life. And just because it ended doesn't mean it failed. So how do we deal with this natural drift? Start by appreciating the friendships you have now. Be present in them, laugh more, talk deeply, create memories. And when they fade, as some inevitably will, don't see that as a betrayal or a tragedy. See it as a closing chapter that made room for something new. It's better to have a few deep, meaningful friendships than to spread yourself thin trying to hold on to every connection you've ever made. And above all else, be your own best friend. Because through every beginning and ending, through every hello and goodbye, you are the only constant in your life. Celebrate what was, cherish what is, and stay open to what could be. Life is a never-ending stream of arrivals and departures. People come into your world to teach you, walk with you, challenge you, and sometimes, to leave you better than they found you. And when you learn to let go with love, not resentment, you free yourself from the pain of clinging and open your heart to the beauty of what's still ahead. Just like friendships aren't guaranteed to last forever, neither is anything of real value simply handed to you without cost. Which brings us to another hard but liberating truth. Lesson number 4. Sacrifice is essential. In a world obsessed with comfort, convenience, and instant gratification, the idea of sacrifice can feel outdated, almost offensive. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Nothing truly meaningful comes without it. If you want to achieve anything great, anything lasting, anything that sets your soul on fire, you must be willing to give something up. Something valuable, something difficult. Because sacrifice is the price of greatness. It's the currency you use to buy your future. Think about it. Look back at the moments in your life that held real meaning. Was anything easy? Or did they demand tough decisions, sleepless nights, and letting go of comfort to gain something greater? Real sacrifice isn't about losing, it's about making room. It's choosing to give up something that feels good now in order to build something that feels right later. I remember one of the biggest sacrifices I ever made. I had a steady job, a good salary, a life that looked impressive on the outside. But inside, I was unfulfilled. I had a quiet, persistent passion for writing, a calling that wouldn't go away. But to follow that path meant walking away from everything stable, everything safe. It meant quitting my job with no guarantees. It meant losing financial comfort, social status, and a future I had spent years constructing. And it terrified me. But I did it. And though the journey that followed was filled with fear, uncertainty, and failure, it also gave me purpose. It gave me the life I was meant to live, not just the one I was surviving through. So how do you embrace this principle of sacrifice in your own life? Start by identifying what truly matters to you. What do you value more than comfort? More than convenience? What are you willing to trade for something greater? If you want to excel in your career, you might have to sacrifice sleep, comfort, or time spent on temporary pleasures. If you want to be healthy and strong, you might have to sacrifice sugar, laziness, or old habits. If you want freedom, you might have to sacrifice certainty. Every sacrifice is a seed. And while the cost feels high in the moment, the fruit it bears is often more nourishing than anything you left behind. Remember, sacrifice is not deprivation, it's prioritization. It's not about punishment, it's about purpose. It's not loss, it's alignment. The pain of sacrifice is temporary. But the reward? That's what defines your life. So, embrace the discomfort. Say no to what's easy so you can say yes to what's meaningful. Because the moment you sacrifice something of lesser value, you create space for something of far greater worth. And that's the only way you'll ever experience deep fulfillment. After learning that sacrifice is essential for fulfillment, it's time we challenge another illusion, perhaps the most romanticized one of all: the belief that love must be chased to be found. Lesson number 5. Stop chasing love. Let's be honest, the harder you chase love, the more it seems to slip through your fingers, doesn't it? We've all been there, searching, hoping, trying to find the one. But how often has that pursuit ended in disappointment, frustration, or even heartbreak? Here's the hard truth: the more desperately you search for love, the more elusive it becomes. When you make love your ultimate goal, you often begin to compromise your values, your standards, even your identity. You settle, you bend, you try to fit a mold, just to feel wanted, but in doing that, you drift further away from your authentic self. And guess what? That's the very version of you that real love is drawn to. Love is not a finish line to race toward. It's not something you can manifest on command or force into existence. True love doesn't arrive because you chase it. It finds you when you're no longer chasing anything at all. It happens in the quiet moments. When you're doing what you love. When you're becoming who you're meant to be. When you're no longer trying to be chosen, but instead, choosing yourself every single day. I've lived this truth. There was a time when I truly believed that love would complete me. I went on countless dates, tried to be more charming, more agreeable, more of what I thought someone else wanted. But all it gave me was emptiness, a sense that no matter how hard I tried, I was never quite enough. Until one day, I stopped. I turned my focus inward. I began prioritizing my personal growth. I leaned into hobbies that brought me joy. I surrounded myself with people who made me feel alive. And slowly but surely, I built a life that I actually loved. And then, almost quietly, love found me. The kind that didn't demand I shrink or perform. The kind that met me exactly where I was, whole and growing. So how do you stop chasing love and start attracting it? Start by falling in love with your own life. Cultivate your passions. Surround yourself with positivity. Invest in your mental, emotional, and physical health. Build a routine, a lifestyle, a mindset that feels rich, with or without anyone else in it. When you're happy on your own, when you radiate self-worth and authenticity, something incredible happens. You stop chasing, and love starts finding its way to you. And when it does arrive, it won't feel like something you need to grasp tightly. It won't come with anxiety or fear. It'll feel calm, natural, like an addition to a life that's already complete. Love is not a scavenger hunt. It's not a checklist. It's not a race. It's a connection that grows from shared purpose, presence, and truth, and it often blooms when you're not looking for it at all. So, stop chasing love. Stop looking for someone to complete you. Instead, focus on becoming whole. Because love is not something to achieve, it's something to receive. Live with passion, live with purpose. And when the timing is right, love will arrive, and it will feel effortless. So while love teaches us to stop chasing illusions, the next lesson challenges us to stop blindly following the crowd, because what's popular is not always what's true. Lesson number 6. The majority is often wrong. It's easy to assume that if everyone believes something, it must be right, that the majority, by sheer numbers, holds the truth. But here's the controversial and necessary truth. The majority is often wrong. Throughout history, we've seen this play out over and over again. The majority once believed the earth was flat, that diseases were caused by bad air, that people could be judged by the color of their skin or the place they were born. Crowds cheered for public executions. Entire societies rallied behind injustice, persecution, and ignorance, simply because it was the accepted norm. Why? Because it's far easier to follow the crowd than to question it. It's safer to blend in than to stand out. And it's more comfortable to be accepted than to be right. But truth doesn't bend to popularity. And wisdom? It never follows blindly. I learned this lesson early in life. As a kid, I was the one always asking questions. I didn't just accept rules or ideas because someone older or louder said so. I was labeled rebellious, difficult, sometimes even disrespectful. But the more I questioned, the more I saw that many of the so-called truths people accepted were just convenient lies, passed down without thought or challenge. This habit of questioning, of digging deeper, didn't always make me popular. But it led me to a far more authentic and fulfilling life. And it taught me something powerful. Critical thinking is a superpower. So how do we apply this in the world we live in now? Start by becoming your own researcher. Don't take things at face value, especially if everyone believes them. Read widely. Seek out diverse sources, different opinions, opposing viewpoints. Ask questions like, does this really make sense? Who benefits if I believe this? What evidence actually supports this idea? Surround yourself with people who challenge you intellectually, not just those who echo your thoughts. Welcome conversations with people who see the world differently. It may not always be comfortable, but it will help you grow. And here's something even more important. Be willing to change your mind. It's not weakness, it's maturity. It shows that your loyalty is to truth, not to your ego. Don't be afraid to stand alone. Don't shrink just because the room disagrees. Because real progress has never come from conformity. It's always been driven by the few who dared to question, to resist, to see things differently. So remember, just because something is popular doesn't mean it's right. Don't follow the crowd. Lead yourself with logic, curiosity, and courage. Because that's how you grow. That's how society evolves. And that's how you discover a truth that's actually yours. Lesson number 7. Patience is power. In a world addicted to speed, where instant gratification is just a click away, Patience has become a rare and misunderstood virtue. We're told that faster is better, that waiting is weakness, that if something doesn't happen now, it probably never will. But the truth? Patience is power. It's the silent discipline that separates those who burn out from those who endure. It's the calm confidence that allows you to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. It's the unseen force behind every long-lasting success, deep relationship, and meaningful transformation. Nature teaches us this every day. Trees don't grow in a week. Mountains are not carved in a month. Rivers don't shape valleys overnight. The most beautiful, resilient things in life, they take time. And so do you. There was a point in my own journey when I craved quick answers and fast progress. I wanted clarity in my purpose, success in my career, and fulfillment in my relationships, all at once. But every time I rushed, I stumbled. Every shortcut became a detour. Every sprint left me burnt out and lost. It wasn't until I embraced patience, real patience, that things began to shift. When I let go of the timeline and focused on presence, I started to grow, not quickly, but deeply. So how do you cultivate patience in a world that constantly demands urgency? Start by setting realistic expectations. Understand that anything meaningful takes time, whether it's mastering a skill, building a career, or healing a wound. Let go of artificial deadlines. Focus on direction over speed. Practice mindfulness. Be here, now. Stop living in the next moment, the next milestone. The present is where life is actually unfolding. And when you hit setbacks, because you will, remind yourself that persistence is more powerful than perfection. Most importantly, be patient with yourself. Don't rush your evolution. Don't beat yourself up for not being there yet. Celebrate the small wins, learn from the stumbles, and know that growth isn't linear, it's layered, like a slow-burning fire that shapes you from the inside out. Patience isn't passive, it's a decision, a discipline. It's the quiet strength that holds you steady when everything else feels uncertain. It's how you endure with intention, not just delay. Remember, in a world obsessed with immediacy, patience is your superpower. It gives you resilience when others collapse, clarity when others panic, wisdom when others chase noise. Patience doesn't just help you wait, it teaches you how to be while you wait. It's not about standing still. It's about standing strong. So embrace it, live with it, let it become your anchor. And now, the journey comes full circle. We've walked through 7 uncomfortable, undeniable truths, each one a compass pointing to a more intentional, meaningful life. But these lessons, they're not just ideas to admire. They're a call to action. Final conclusion. We've just walked through some of life's rawest, most unfiltered truths. And if you're still here, it means you're ready, not for comfort, but for clarity. These lessons weren't designed to make you feel good. They were designed to wake you up, to challenge what you've been told, to shake the illusions, to make you look deeper into yourself, into the world, and into what really matters. Because life isn't a straight line. It's not supposed to be easy, neat, or predictable. It's a messy, beautiful, gut-wrenching, awe-inspiring journey of becoming. It will test you. It will stretch you. And it will reveal parts of you never knew existed, if you're willing to look. Each truth we've explored is a light in the darkness. A reminder that your comfort zone is not your home. That expectations don't define your joy. That friendships come and go. That sacrifice is sacred. That love isn't something you chase. That the crowd doesn't always know best. And that patience, real, deep patience, is power. You're going to struggle. You're going to fall. That's part of the deal. But you're also going to rise. Again and again. With strength, with grace, with wisdom you earned the hard way. So here's my final message to you. Live boldly, love deeply, question everything, and never stop becoming. You only get one life. Don't waste it living someone else's version of truth. Let these lessons be your compass. Let your soul be your fire. And when in doubt, trust the journey. Because it's not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to ask the right questions. Now go. Make your life extraordinary. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and don't forget to subscribe. This journey is yours to define.